find you later. That hurt.
Am I lost, or am I exactly where I'm meant to be? Lucas.
Rolling a forge out here.
Little son will do you some good.
Last time I was back, he'd already started walking.
Aloy.
Aloy, please, have a seat. All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of, and each machine is, to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points it can be tricky remembering the details of so we use you see that number? That there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine. Notes also how and of course, okay, that's enough for now. I own the board. Since this is your first, usually you pick up that. And remember, each machine, take a look at your notes if you need. Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each round. Perfect. There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn. We're forging onwards. Let me move my pieces here. And we're back to you. Try with that machine on your right first. Now move the piece when you'll be testing a machine's combat power is a combat and its own this and so and just so this. Knew you were a smart one. Finish up. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. That lets it move. Try it out. Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points. Just overcharge your machine. That's a... Now, I'll let you in on a neat... That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces. Blue shows where they're hit them there, and you'll do some damage. Now, red shows the machine's weak points. Hit those, and you'll deal a mighty blow. Here, let me show you. Now you don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But and by the look of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat mine. But sometimes, that can be a good thing. Overcharge your machine to attack mine a second time, and ain't that a thrill? Now, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points first. That's why sometimes losing a piece can be the best way to end a game in your favor. Now, you'll notice you didn't get quite up to 7 victory points this time, but you did destroy all my pieces. That means that wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember to always check for the best terrain to attack from. You'd be surprised the advantage you can gain over an opponent like that. I know it saved my behind in a game or two.
I'll try and remember that.
Oh, these are all my spare pieces. I want the Savior of Meridian to have them. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces that can turn a game in your favor, though they'll need the right materials to craft you one. Or you might know I've lost my fair share of pieces after a night of machine hunting, or no need to thank me, always a pleasure to help out new Now, if you feel like playing a real game, I've got plenty of other boards. I could even teach you a few more tricks if you're up for it.
Thanks. I'll think about it.
I knew I'd make a strike player. How about this time I tell you how to... This one's got all the different terrains you can... Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power. As you know, when fighting an opponent's machine, the higher your machine's combat power, the more... So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left. Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value of the terrain it's standing on. Since your it's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point. My machine is it's also not attacking, which means their attack points aren't in play. So this means your machine can do 3 points of Go ahead and... There you go. Now, choosing the right to... It can also grab your... Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points. My machine can't use their attack power since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it, which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see. See? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage as well. That's why breaking a machine to deal damage is useful, right? Okay, now go ahead and end your turn. There's still one more thing I want to show you. All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are 2 other terrains that work a little differently. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn. Here, let me show you. Grab... See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemies so you're not completely helpless. Well, I think that's enough yammering for me for now. Promise it'll all come in handy next time you play. Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling. Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are first and foremost, you can never, with that in mind, and how far they can, but a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. And now, if you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range, and we've seen this plenty of times, so. Great, now looks like we've got ourselves let's move that machine forward so we can take. End your turn so I can show you the rest of the pieces. Let's go. This is a ram type machine. Attack an enemy with it, and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all. Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set. If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet, but I'm pretty sure you've got more important things to do, so it's got all the tips. I think that about does it for now, so. Let's play. You're up, Red. Time to make my move. Board's all yours. Single machine left? That ain't good. Okay, let's see. Your turn. Ah, looks like I lost. Here we go. Your move, Red. Hey, I like that piece where it was. My turn. That's it for me. That was a surprise. Oh, bold choice. One less piece on the board. Well, that's done now. That's it for me. You got me down to one piece. I am impressed. Time to get serious. Nice! Guess luck's not on your side today, Red. Let's do this! Your turn. My turn. You're up, Red. Knocked right off the board. Time to get serious. Off the board it goes. That was brutal. Okay, let's see. One less piece on the board. I got a tough fight ahead of me. I'm up. Well, that's done now. Oh, seriously? Oh, I thought I had that one. This is gonna be fun. Board's all yours. Time to make my move. Your move, Red. I'm up. Board's all yours. Ah, not that easy to get through my machine's armor, is it? Okay, let's see. That was brutal. Your turn. Ah, off the board it goes. My turn. Knocked right off the board. Knocked right off the board. Ah, off the board it goes. You're up, Red. That was brutal. That's the game. You up for a rematch? Good luck. Time to get serious. Your move, Red. One less piece on the board. That's it for me. Oh, you hit that weak spot all right. Time to make my move. Well, that's done now. Ah, off the board it goes. Well, that's done now. Knocked right off the board. One less piece on the board. You're up, Red. My turn. That was brutal. Now that was a game, even if I lost. Good luck. That's it for me. Okay, let's see. Board's all yours. Knocked right off the board. I was hoping you wouldn't do that. One less piece on the board. Your turn. Hey! Oh, that was the perfect spot. Fearless. I'm up. Well, that's done now. Off the board it goes. Time to get serious. Your move, Red. Lucky me, you hit armor. That was brutal. Time to make my move. One less piece on the board. Well, spark my forge. You have beaten me on every one of my boards. Now that deserves a prize, I say. Don't be a stranger.
Thought Nora stayed in their sacred land.
I'll have you know, I am the smartest man ever seen.
Must be someone around here worth talking to.
Easy there, Red.
I have to go on foot from here. Scroungers. Neighbor said I could find a metal panel in one of their scrap piles. To override machines and cauldrons before. What's going on here? You here. Okay, now to look through the scrap piles for a metal panel. think I have everything I need for Mildiv. Good thing, too. I can use a decent meal.
Got it from here.
Must be someone around here worth talking to.
Who said that?
Ah, there you are. I happen to receive another visit from Olvin himself. He was pushy, but I stood.
I'm listening.
When I made his meal, I used 3 pinches of salt instead of 2.
Each journey begins with a single step, I guess. I think I have everything you asked for.
Then just as you have inspired me, let us see if I can return the favor. Time to cook.
Wow. Mildiv, that was inspired.
Next time you want the best provisions, you know where to find me.
Thanks. And don't forget to stand up for yourself.
Funny you should say that. As it happens, I'm already cooking up my next portion of resistance. Hope to see you again.
Are you a side just run? Pint of your pint.
You!
tasty and filling. Guaranteed.
Might be a good idea to start cooking some food before I head back out. Feeling this. Water's cooking up.
Back for that free.
That's right. Thought it was gonna get me too. Sister! Over here!
Not again.
Fine day for sports and singing, I
That
say.
depends on what you mean in measuring.
Shop looks closed.
Yep.
Can I still use the workbench?
I ain't gonna stop you.
Come on, anyone. Make my day. Round. What you said? We're wrong at that.
Wasn't expecting you. Can I help?
Or am I exactly where I'm meant to be?
Ooh, it's...